Scale Podcast episode.
Scale Podcast 2024. We're back. We're talking about music. We're being music nerds. Sorry for the wait. Where am I looking? Hello, guys. What's up? So we have a lot to get through. We have a lot of interesting topics that have come up over, what are we calling it? 2 days, 3 days? It's been growing. The story's been growing over
about 3-4 days.
About 3-4 days. So, I think you're the best person to start this off because I know you've been sending me articles and, keeping me updated about it. What's happening with said major label and said social media platform?
Okay, so I think let's just jump straight into it. So we have Universal, which is a major, we know it's the biggest label in the world, and they've got artists such as Bieber, Drake, Beyonce, they're all there. Right?
Does it still count because he sold the catalog?
No, it's all there.
Oh,
it's all
okay,
there. Yeah,
okay,
don't worry
okay,
about it. Yeah,
okay.
so effectively what's happened is they've had deals with all the various platforms where music is being utilized, and we know TikTok is one of those platforms. So basically what's happened now is their deal was set to lapse on the last day of January 2024, which was a couple of days ago. What that meant was they needed to renegotiate a new deal. Unfortunately, they didn't come to any sort of agreement, and the reason behind that was the terms that TikTok was offering were less than what they were in the original deal. Universal's stance was that they were a small platform before, now they're a gigantic platform. Yeah. They should be offering their creatives
800
more.
million users.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why I think they may have pulled out is because TikTok pays a bit differently to all the other streaming services. With most of the streaming services, we know that you've got a situation where you've got your music playing and you rack up streams and then you're good to go, you make cash. TikTok is slightly different in that it's all got to do with how many people take your song and make use of it in the videos, right? And that's how you get paid. And the amount that we saw now on a couple of articles, I think we can reference those, was about 0.003 cents per usage.
Yeah.
So that's mad. And I mean, the fact that it's a major and they're throwing their toys, that can only mean a lot for the rest of us going.
But look. Let's play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Right? So, from the point of view of TikTok, how do you think they can justify this? Like, how do you think they're right in saying, hey, we can't go any further than here?
Universal needs TikTok. No. Universal needs TikTok, and I don't think it's the other way around.
They were major before TikTok.
That is true.
Major by definition. AKA.
Yeah. They have. I mean, they've got that, but this is the hot platform right now. In the short term, that's what I'm saying. In the short term, TikTok doesn't really have to care.
In the short term.
Yes, but unfortunately what's going to happen is because and that list is long. It's a lot more artists than you'd be surprised was on that list. Yeah. These are all people you can't access now when you want to do a TikTok, a dance challenge, whatever it is. It's great for us come-ups because there's less competition, right? When there's challenge. Exactly, that's great. But I feel at the end of the day, it's a major. They're going to find a way. And the reason they were able to leave it was because maybe they looked at the revenue and they were like, well, is it adding
But does
up?
it not add up? I mean, someone like Drake, for instance, something like 1 billion streams or something. So 1 billion times 0.00, man, Yeah. I think on a larger scale, it could work. It could
for
work.
Universal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think it would then translate across because only a few artists are hitting those kind of numbers.
True.
So it's a system where it's like both parties kind of need each other. We need our music to push. They need the content to push the app because with no content, there's no app. So if the people can't access the music, then it's like.
So how would we then restructure it, or how would they restructure it, or what should they do? Should they find a way and be amicable and find something, or is
it's a compromise game?
Yeah.
It's a compromise game because there's leverage on both sides. You understand? It's a big label versus a big platform. So it has to be like, let's agree on $1 or something. It has to be like both ways because this one can't pull the other and the other way as well. So it's like,
But they're at an impasse. The communication that came out from TikTok, they said it's not going to happen. Universal came through and they were like, this is not going to happen. They were even sent out communication to their artists. And they were like, it's not going to happen. So if they're
But we've seen cases like this before.
Yeah.
We've seen cases like this before where, I'm not saying it's a tactic, but at some point of the negotiation, we have to say, no, listen, it's fine, you know.
Do you think this then is the start of something? Because if we add what happened last year with Spotify, where they had to switch things up as well in their business model, they said that if as a creator, if you do not reach 1,000 plays as a threshold, you don't get paid out. Yeah. So basically, what they were doing is, it's not the same as this, because here it's a full on, we don't like the terms, we're removing. Back with Spotify, it's more a thing of, we're just making it a little bit more tough for the people who are scrounging around at the bottom. Yeah, the people who, I mean, if you're a typical artist, even if you're like bubbling under, you're getting more than 1,000 plays on your track. So this doesn't really affect you. It's just helping them with their bottom line. But do you think that these two incidences that have happened in space of a couple of months, do you think this is almost like the beginnings of the next?
The problem, I think, is that like streaming is taking away leverage from artists.
How so?
It's a numbers game, bro.
Yeah.
Whoever can help you facilitate the numbers controls you. Back then, it was money, conversion, disc, money. Now it's this aggregator to the stores to the client. My man.
And then you get radio.
So if anyone in this chain says, you know what, actually, double the price, you're in a difficult position, because your target is the end goal, but you can't get there without this person. So I think the leverage now lies with the streaming platforms, the social media platforms, the aggregators of the world, you know, YouTube, you know, platforms that actually get you out there. But I think now with that whole leverage thing, like I'm saying, it's a matter of making them understand that we actually make the stuff, you know, we actually are behind it, you know. So I think yeah, that's where we are now, because hey man, we rely too much on these streams things. They're not even saying like engagement, they're just saying straight up stream, you know, like if they said 1,000 followers or something, they're just going straight up streams, you know.
And it's very little per stream in any case. Have you seen, if you look at that chart that says how many plays it takes for you to make, I think, was it $1 or $1,000 or something?
There was that calculator that she sent, actually. There was that stream calculator thing that she sent. I think I put in just as did it take a lot to make it.
It's a sad thing to type numbers into.
Dude, I think to get like $3,000 is like,
which is about 60K.
Yeah, I think it's like 1 million streams or something to get somewhere there. I stand to be corrected. We'll put the link in the kind of description. I
think it's here now.
Description is here. Yeah, we'll put the link there so people can actually so you can put your number of streams, and then it converts it to like an actual amount in currency. So I think that's cool. But also then again, like it takes so much. You see, if the return was better, because I don't think there's any platform that's paying more than, there's 2 zeros, all of them, 0.00, 1, 2, 3, then they all compete with the number, but it's all 0.00 whatever. So I think if we could get paid a bit more, then we could push, because now you're seeing the growth of the streaming platforms as companies, but not of the artists. And it's like, how is this happening? You guys don't actually make products. So
won't we reach a level where we just can't go any further? Because you're talking about those numbers now, and I'm already thinking back to how it was when we were pushing back in the day, and it was CDs. And already there, it was how much for a CD?
Almost 70 rand.
Yeah. I mean, we can even pull that price down, even if it is about 50 rand.
Yeah.
Already there, think about that. How many CD sales, or it doesn't have to be CDs, it can be whatever form or media it is, but already there you're getting paid a lot more, and you're seeing, as an artist now, your rand is stretching a lot further, and you're able to still get to your fans. They're still able to get the music. Yes. But at the end of the day, when you're getting paid, it's not fractions of cents. You get what I'm saying? So doesn't then that's why I was saying, don't you think this might be us turning a corner and saying, look, you're already killing us. They've already got artists like this, and now they want to
strangle more.
Even more.
Yeah.
How about we then go, okay, fine, how do we actually make the money? Let me go get my CDs or USBs or QR codes and sell.
I was about to ask you, like, what's the alternative? Because we've tried our own platforms. We've seen Tidal launch. We've seen it, do what it did. I'm not too clued up on it right now, but they had a healthy usage, you know. And what's next? Because that's been explored, because we can say turning point, whatever, but turn to where now?
Crowdfunding, Patreon. Places where you have your
people, and then they engage with you directly.
You have your close, and it takes away the need for how many thousands that you mentioned, millions to get. And that's for 1 month. It removes the need for that, and you're able to. And we've seen artists do that. I mean, you remember Ryan Leslie?
Yes.
He did something like that. He sort of closed off the rest of the world and said, if you want to be a part of my world and you love my music, come in. There's a fee to pay. But I'm going to give you things. Yes. When we have an experience, I'm going to hire out a castle in Paris. And we're going to go party there. And it's going to be big. It'll be a closed event. It's us.
You can't, I don't think you can, unfortunately, I tend to be correct. I don't think you can cultivate like a global audience with that approach. Because you need to reach people before you convert them. So now, if you're just back in converting with your 300 people and the platforms are not on your side, then what?
Your product just needs to be that much more expensive, but it needs to be good as well. I'm not saying make a T-shirt and sell it.
I don't think life outside of the traditional platforms is sustainable. Why? We have to consider the market. We're speaking as artists. We want to get paid more. What. How do you facilitate that into a fan base that's not on the internet, or a fan base that's only on the internet? You understand? Sometimes that cross, you see, they're only on YouTube. When you start saying, give me 50 rand, I was thinking, no. You see this guy, how do you now make it something, one, that's valuable to them and easy for them to engage in? You understand?
Yeah.
Because you can come up with all these cool ideas, but ultimately the platforms have the market.
Yes. So if we go back to the Ryan Leslie example, he still used digital media, but there was a funnel in place in that I'm still going to go and fetch my fans from YouTube, from Instagram, from wherever, but I'm going to lead them to a place that is digital, but it's rudimentary digital, which is SMS and email, which is something that...
So mailing lists.
Mailing lists, exactly. So you get a chance to make use of that market, that global market. You just bring them in and you sort of then bring in the best. I think it was Casper who mentioned, someone was talking about numbers and he was like, hey, if all of my fans or my followers were able to pay even just a little bit, I know I'd be eating. But with him, with everybody, it's always a small amount.
They've tried.
To do what?
In South Africa, especially like you're referencing Casper, someone very close to him, Tira, and the late AKA as well, partnered with Vodacom to create their worlds and apps like the DJ Tira World, where it's just his subscribers and it gives them exclusive content and all of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a model that could work. It could work, but now we need to factor in the audience.
Yeah.
Because we're going to come with this technological thing and say, you can scan here, you can add your card, you can... But how are you going to get people to do that? You know what I'm saying? Someone just wants to go onto Instagram, see your song, go to Spotify, bump the song on the way to work, they've shown you support. But now, when you remove that...
Do you have to remove it?
I think you're talking about alternative.
Yes, but
that's what they say.
Yes, the alternative doesn't have to be a black and white either or thing. Bring in
you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't say, hey, Mr. Guy, you can sell my product, and then I'm also going to sell my product on this side.
That product there is going to be different.
So you're giving me nonsense, basically. As the streaming platform, I can say no, but champ, you're giving me the horrible music, and then you're putting the good stuff over on you. You know what I'm saying?
The extra. You
see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think just that balance is important, and like owning the music, because we can fight for the streams all we want, but if the money is generated and it doesn't know where to go. That's another problem.
Yeah, which brings us very nicely.
Oh my God.
Which brings us very nicely into another video that this week has been something.
It's been busy. SA Music is alive. I'm glad we didn't wait until March, you know. Guys are shaking it up nice and early.
Yeah, so there was a video by
prominent
figure.
record owner,
Yeah.
record label owner and artist. And
so the video basically touches on the point that because his resources, I call it resources because it's not always just the studio. There's a whole host of other things that go into it. He mentions electricity, equipment, all of that stuff. Because his resources are being used and the people who are coming in and enjoying those facilities aren't paying for those facilities. They basically they forgo ownership of that song, right? The word used was song. Okay, they let go of. They no longer have.
Yes.
So they don't have ownership of that song because of that, right? And for the most part, okay, this is now I'm going into my opinion on it. For the most part, it's correct, right? When we're talking about ownership of the music. So basically how it was back in the day was when you needed to record a song, you'd go to a recording studio over a record label, right? And because the record label is funding everything, they would then have ownership over that master. What they decide to do with it is up to them. Whether they want to give a portion back to the artist, which I don't know if that ever happened, but they were then able to, the word is exploit, that's the word they use. But all it means is that they get to use it the way that they want to. They can take that sound recording that they've made in that studio and then they can go and put it over there if they want to. If there's a campaign, they can sell it the way that they want to. Yeah. So basically what that means is the record label can make use of the master in whichever way they want to. What he didn't touch on, and he obviously didn't have to, he's talking to the general public, but as an artist you need to know is that as an artist there is the other side of the copyright. So there's two copyrights. And yeah, there'll be a diagram just to explain that you've got the song.
Where do you want me to put the diagram?
Even on top of us, wherever. Yeah, we'll put it here. Yeah. When you want to edit.
It makes the edits look cool, bro. I'm telling you, when you do this and it's there, it looks so cool.
Yeah, cool. So you've got this diagram, right? You've got the song, and then you have the underlying composition, and you've got the master recording. Two very important parts, right? These are the two copyrights in the song. What he was referring to was the actual song created in his studio. That's the sound recording. That's the master, right? What we're talking about now is the composition, which is the idea. Us sitting here and writing lyrics or getting the concept for the beat. That's a different copyright, meaning that can be used in another way. Practically speaking, you can go into his studio, record, create a master. You still have the composition. You can take it
and
go to another
re-record.
studio and So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Taylor Swift, they had that whole situation.
Yeah, she had a re-recording clause in her contract.
So you can then go and create new versions. And I mean, we've seen it in history. I know the example that music business people love to use is I Will Always Love You. That's an amazing example of a song that was made, it was written by a very prominent singer who, well, I don't know if she realized it, but then it was then taken up by another very prominent singer. And it makes sense. When we hear the version that is big
Of the other one, yes.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, that one was alright, but this one over here. So in music, it's good that we have that distinction between the two. So it's just important to know that.
But now, do you think really expressing yourself like that or like enforcing those kind of... Those are principles that only people who go out and study or people who are exposed to the information will know. So do you not think it's better to educate people before you let them leave and then you turn around and say, hey dude, but actually, you made this here, so...
Yeah. Are you saying that there's like an assumption not an assumption, but
of course, like, because I mean, it's like an if you know, you know thing, because if I'm just like, getting into music and all of that, I come to your studio, Silas is a cool guy, drinks are flowing, you even buy us food, it's a nice time, we make the music. I'm thinking, me and my dude made music together. And then you turn around and say, no, but actually, that's all me.
Yeah, that's my studio. So, and because you didn't pay,
If anything, I paid more.
Yeah.
It's the presentation. I think you're right in saying it's how.
Yeah. So I think if information like that is, and this is a lack that we have, and I don't think it's only in our industry, but it's very bad here. I can speak for it because I see it happen all the time with people that walk into the studio. Is that there's assumptions being made. I had a client who was getting shouted at because the person he brought onto the song was like, "Where are my royalties? You are supposed to write me a check." I'm like, "No, that's not
how it works, dude.
That's what I mean. Like that information it's not. It's available, but I would say I don't know. It's weird. Is it the presentation? It's still a question I have.
That's why we exist. That's why we exist. We're upselling. We're upselling.
Okay, yeah.
Please keep watching the show.
You will learn something.
Yeah. Click. Where is it? It's on your side.
Yeah.
Click.
Over here.
So yeah, I think for an opening episode we had a lot of fun. We shared a lot of insightful things. English. Insightful things. So I think we're gonna leave the links to all the stuff we spoke about. Yeah. Where is it? Should I put it?
Man, it'll be here.
Yeah, man. So since I opened the episode, he's gonna close it.
I feel like I opened the episode.
No, you didn't. Sharp.
Hey, my God.